What is cooking? What is poppin'? It is your boy, Chennington, and listen up. You already know the deal. You know the deal. Do not sleep on Windows 96. Today, let us stroll through the latest release in the ever-growing collection of mystic musical landscapes with Enchanted Instrumentals and Whispers, the new and sudden release dropped by Vaporwave artist Windows 96, and yeah, it's pretty damn good. And before we start this video, besides throwing a like and hitting that subscribe button if it's your first time here, you already know the deal, I wanted to announce that I will now also be writing weekly articles for Vapor 95 on a variety of Vaporwave related topics. I've actually written an article for the album I'm going to be talking about today in this video, so if you want a written version of this and a place to grab a whole bunch of other things Vaporwave, like news, discussion, reviews, merch, and much more, and also future articles I'm going to be putting on there, head over to Vapor 95. I'm going to leave a link in the description to the article this video is based on, and I'll also leave a link to their shop too if you're thinking of picking up any cool Vaporwave merch. And don't worry, I'm still going to be making videos and everything like that. Nothing's changing, but now I'll also have the opportunity to continue my content in written form on an awesome platform, so click the link in the description and I'll see you there as well. Known for layered production through a multitude of practices, whether that be with some fun and nuanced sampling methods or organic instrumentals and keys, Vaporwave artist Windows 96 has become a fan favorite due to an organic approach and an appreciation for what they personally strive to create. The dude just loves to make some hearty, meaty music. In my opinion, I find each and every release that the killer puts out to simply outshine the previous one in regards to the dedication put into creating something wholesome, and that's a tough feat to do when your discography consists of classics like Gradient Horizon and 100 Mornings. Yeah, that's some tough shit to beat. Enchanted Instrumentals and Whispers dropped in late April of this year. I was getting back from the gym the day of its release and was ready to give it my undivided attention, some proper headphones, and have it accompany me as I wrote a script for an upcoming video on the channel. This was definitely, in my opinion at the time, the next big release for 2019, and I was excited to dive into something special that could sit atop the vapor sphere, if you want to call it that, with other climatic releases we've seen this year, like Dan Mason's Hypnagogia and Advanced Memory Suite by FM Skyline. 2019 has been a revolutionary time for the genre, to say the least. Releases are crafted with the horse blinds on, and artists are just doing everything they can to focus and break from the norm and establish their own signature sound in a genre that many have, found to fall on stale due to the abundance of producers trying to replicate the same tropes done for years now. Artists don't really want you to think of them as a Vaporwave artist anymore. Instead, they want you to think of them as their name, They want you to remember them for what they're making and not just as, another Vaporwave artist on the Vaporwave conveyor belt of releases. And I am super happy to say Enchanted Instrumentals and Whispers has done just that. The album drives far from many traditional Vaporwave tendencies. You will not find your upfront crooning sample chops or fuzzy VHS textures on here, but instead this instrumental blend of like Vaporwave, Synthwave, ambient sounds, chillwave, all these things, and they all seem to be a big theme so far in 2019. The range makes for this chill aesthetic that combines a bunch of different sound styles, allowing albums like this one, for example, to become something you can look forward to revisiting long after your first listening adventure. Each time you listen to the album, you'll have an opportunity to focus on that different sound, on that different subgenre, different aura or instrument. There's just some excellent replay value with this album and other albums that are doing the same. I like to think of it as a buffet of sounds to satisfy any current musical taste you are craving. And I'm always hungry, so if this is doing the job for me, I know you're gonna absolutely love it. Instrumentally speaking, the album is pretty on par with Windows 96 previous release, which was 100 Mornings, but this time I find the tracks to sound way more breathful and sprightly. Having this characteristic creates potential for personality and range throughout the entire track list, whereas 100 Mornings had songs built more so on Gradient Horizon. They were very sharp, very shiny and polished in its mix down entirely. It was a very streamlined approach, definitely fun in its own light. I'm not taking anything away from it, but it can get pretty overcooked by the time you get to the end of the album, especially if you want, it to change up a little bit. For those who loved 100 Mornings, you're in for a refreshing treat, as this will easily satisfy your desire for that proper follow-up, all while maintaining its distance, like I said, to become a release of its own. It's really not super polished sounding, it's not super sharp, things are warbly, things are quirky, sounds extend into upcoming measures where they would kind of cut off maybe on previous releases. I love it. Enchanted Instrumentals and Whispers is just simply more alive than 100 Mornings or anything else put out by Windows 96. Enchanted Instrumentals and Whispers is one of those special albums that can stick around for a little bit. Not a little bit, for a little while. Trust me, you're going to be listening to this for a while. Due to that unique musical composition and an album artwork you won't forget. A blast of color, jagged shapes, and soupy looking paint strokes has never looked so delightful. Any longtime fans of Vaporwave, especially Windows 96, will get that initial hype feeling of, wow, okay, this is going to be a classic within like minutes of unveiling the opening tracks to your ears. The album has a very airy, open, expansive vibe to it. It sounds like you're afloat a light purple colored ocean, and seagulls are replaced by friendly spheres and other fun shapes, making you feel at home and comfortable. Eerily tropical, you will find a lot of these steel drum melodies rocking over some coasting drum loops, peppered with some curious synth keys that tend to tumble all over the place, making moments throughout the album sound super rich, supernatural, full of life, and sporadic. Nothing on here is ever really clean cut, like I said before, in a production sense or a mixed down sense. It's a lot of smoky, washy sound effects and textures on these instrumentals to pump out this moody little attitude that tends to bleed into the upcoming measure, whether it be a synth with some heavy delay or reverb, or a jumble of jingles that last just a little too long and trickle into that next measure. Really, really tasty stuff. Keyboard leads also tend to have these quirky solos that can get pretty lengthy. I really can't remember one instance on the album where the volume just drops, or something just abruptly ends, or gets halted for some sort of dramatic effect. It's way more chill than that, and because there's these extended sounds, it just makes it feel more natural. Everything just flows better. The album is constantly calming, all while at the same time being an always on the move journey that somehow still makes you feel homey, hooked, and in control, no matter what part you are up to, and it's just short of 40-minute runtime. If Windows 96 hasn't already become a cemented name in the Vaporwave world with Gradient Horizon and 100 Mornings, Enchanted Instrumentals and Whispers has definitely done the job in solidifying that for something that is simply what it states to be, a collection of enchanted instrumentals and whispers. This thing has breathed more life. Is it breathed or breathed? It's definitely breathed more life into the super exciting renaissance of Vaporwave music we have all seen so far in 2019, and I just can't wait to see what comes out next. Thanks for watching, everybody, and like I said earlier, go check out Vapor 95 for the written article of this and everything else they got on the site. I will be posting weekly articles on there as well, and I'm excited to write some stuff on the platform. It's going to be really fun, and I will see you next video. Much love, your boy, Pad Chennington.